So why do people think that inner thigh muscles are some magical muscles that actually shrink when you train them? What do we do when we want a bigger butt? We work the glute muscles to make them bigger. We squat, we deadlift, we do burnouts with resistance bands. What do you do when you want bigger biceps? You curl some weights and work them to make them bigger. Any muscle we want to make bigger, we train it. So why do people think that inner thigh muscles are some magical muscles that actually shrink when you train them? This is what the inner thigh muscles look on a bodybuilder that is heavily trained. Nope, he didn't get a thigh gap from pumping those inner thigh muscles. So what do you do if you want thinner legs? First of all, it's important to note that a thigh gap actually has a lot more to do with your genetics and the actual structure of your skeleton, along with your body fat levels, and a lot less with the type of exercises that you're doing. So because of your structure, a lot of people will never have a thigh gap, even if they're skinny, and that's okay because who the heck even decided that a thigh gap is the thing? But with that being said, what you can do is lose some fat around your thighs, and that will make your legs thinner. To lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, meaning that you're eating less calories than your body is burning. A few things to take note of. We all burn a different amount of calories throughout the day depending on our weight and how active we are. So for example, while 1400 calories may be a deficit for one person, it may not be a deficit for another person, and that's why two people can do the same diet and one will lose weight and the other won't. The second thing, and this is why I really don't like influencers promoting thigh slimming workouts. You can't spot reduce fat loss. When you use energy, your body will use fat from the entire body. It doesn't matter if you're doing thigh exercises, which by the way will burn actually very little calories on their own and won't contribute much to your calorie deficit. You train certain areas of the body to build muscle there, and yes, overall it will help you create shape, it will help you create a leaner look because it will reduce your total body fat percentage if you have more muscle compared to the amount of fat you have. But it's not going to shrink the area. You're not going to curl your biceps and make them smaller. That makes no sense. You're also not going to do inner thigh workouts and get smaller inner thighs. And you've probably done a lot of these challenges before and you've never gotten inner thigh gaps from them. Also, another issue, we all have different tendencies based on our genetics to store body fat more in certain areas than others. And this is the same with fat loss. You might actually lose a lot of fat in your upper body first before you start to see your legs getting thinner. In which case, you just have to keep on grinding until it comes off from there as well. So this may not be a short-term journey. You're not gonna just say, okay, I want to remove some fat only from my belly, only from my thighs, so I only need a few weeks diet. No, you're gonna need to grind until you lose overall enough body fat until it reaches that specific point as well. Women actually tend to hold a lot more body fat in their lower bodies. This is simply because of our hormones, and we'll usually lean out in that area last. And I say usually because there's always some genetic freaks. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. In terms of how to actually train your legs for your aesthetic goals, I personally like to give more emphasis to muscles that I want to make bigger, so that I give them more volume. For example, the glutes, aka the butt muscle. I also work the quads a little bit for a more balanced look. I work my back and shoulder muscles so that I can get kind of a slightly wider frame, and that makes your waist look smaller. And I've only recently gone back to training abs because I do want to just make the six-pack pop a little nicer. So I actually really like Chloe Ting. She's really cute. She has really nice videos and she's not doing anything wrong. She's advertising the same kind of thing that catches the eyes and everyone is doing it on YouTube. You know, 2 weeks to shredded abs or 2 weeks to thin thighs, but sorry to burst your bubble, it doesn't actually work. If you like the workouts, do them, but if you actually want to make your thighs thinner, you need to be on a diet. So if there are any other workouts you'd like to hear about, leave it in the comment below and I'll get to it in my next videos. And if this cleared anything up for you, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing a lot of info on diet and exercise.